Hi there, welcome to Bella's Vistas. Thanks for visiting. Please like and subscribe. Here I am making a couple shots with my Leica M4 from 1967. Along the riverbank, the snapping turtles were sunning themselves. Really something to see. Look at the spikes on the tail of this old boy. It's pretty amazing. The smaller turtles don't seem to have those, and some of the other ones, they were broken off or bitten off by other animals from the pictures that we've made of them on the riverbank. Really nice to see these guys enjoying the sunshine. We're going to be leaving Ontario for a couple months, and we'll see what these guys are like when we get back. There's such a diversity of wildlife along the health trail. It's just amazing. Really love to get down there and see what's happening. These guys don't move very much, or they sure don't move very fast anyway. You don't want to do slow motion on them, that's for sure. But it's fun to see them there on these old logs. There's lots of life on the river here. Little minnows and fish in the water. Really nice to see. We keep coming back here. I like to get here a few times a week at the very least. There you can really see the tail on this old boy. Look at those spikes. Really something to see. Imagine they eat fish and whatnots, and maybe baby ducks too. A really big beak on the snapping turtle. Here I am again with my Leica M4. This is the way it used to be, shooting with my 35mm. The very first time I went to Newfoundland, that's the camera that I used. M4 Leica 1967 model with a 35mm lens. This is shot with my Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II. I've got the new OM1 for my trip. And that was my first 35mm SLR, was the Olympus OM1. Now I've got the new OM1, 50 some years later. There's a little frog in the path here. Love to see these guys. I'd heard that the ozone depletion was causing UV problems for the frogs, and it's nice to see them here. They seem to be doing all right, actually. They're doing pretty good. Here's the mink. Sometimes I think this guy would like to bite my face off, and sometimes I think he recognizes me and doesn't mind me taking his picture. He's a voracious fisherman, I'll tell you that. He can catch a fish in no time and eats him up just as quickly. He's hiding away here. The mink is moving his nest around on the trail. He's not as predictable as he was. We'll see towards the fall what it's like getting close to him. There's a nice close-up on him. Look at there, right? There's the mink on the riverbank. Here's a little killdeer. I love these guys. Really nice to photograph. They're pretty shy birds, hard to get anywhere near them. Here they are walking around on the grass. It's a little bit shaky video, I'm sorry about that, but I'm using a long lens and no tripod. Just walking down the trail here. Beautiful day for it. Love the mist on the water. Really nice. There you go. Nice video of the mist coming up off the water. When it's a cold day, you get that a lot. Reminds me of Whitney. There's some places that I like to photograph in Whitney that are really nice. Look at this duck family here. Wow. There's 13 babies, I think, swimming along here. Really something to see the way the mother looks after them, keeps them herded together, brings them up and down the river looking for food. Look at that. That's just amazing, I think. It's just wonderful the way they follow their mom. Really nice little ducklings. When we get back, they're going to be fully fledged. That'll be something to see. I hope most of them make it. It'd be nice if they all made it, but that'd be a bit optimistic maybe. with the snapping turtles and the mink along there to take them out. You never know how many you might lose that way. Now I understand the ducks are filtering food out of the water with their beaks. There they go. The mom's taking a break and gathering them all together. Sometimes she sits on the bank and has her wings over all of them together. It's really something to see. Here's a muskrat. This little guy is quite cute. Don't know what they eat. I've seen him bringing green shoots into his nest and things, but I imagine they'll eat fish and everything too along the riverbank. Anything they can find.
That looks broken.
Oh, knock it off. What was that? Wow, a glimpse of a deer. That's pretty amazing. There's a mother and 2 yearlings that we see quite a bit around here. This is one of the yearlings, I think. Getting ready to try out my Leica again, shooting some black and white film. That's definitely not a Leica shot. That's with the Olympus OMD EM1. The long lens, it's almost like a macro lens. You're shooting close-ups but from far away. I mean, that's not macro, that's the 300 millimeter with the 2X adapter on it. It's pretty wild. And it's so well stabilized that you can shoot like at a 30th, 60th, 80th of a second. It's really fun. Some forget-me-nots along the path. Beautiful. So colorful. Spring is really nice. It's really wonderful when the springtime comes and the flowers bloom, new life. Dandelions, I like to photograph them every chance I get. Shooting with a rangefinder camera is totally different from shooting with an SLR or with the new mirrorless camera especially. Here's some ruby-breasted woodpeckers up on the tree. They never cease to attract me. I mean, they're just wonderful, beautiful birds. Nice red head. This one is nice and sharp. The sun's shining right on its eye. See the difference the lighting makes when the sun is on the subject? This is good exposure, but bad light. If the light was coming in from the right, it would be so much better. See, the face is in shadow. It's not very interesting. Here's a red-winged blackbird that looks like it's been swimming. Needs to get its feathers back in order. Here's a Baltimore Oriole looking pretty good. They're shy. They hide in there to foil your focus. This was from a long ways away. The Oriole's sitting on a rock. Just beautiful to see. Just unbelievable birds. Here I am shooting with a macro lens. That's the 60 millimeter macro with OMD EM1 Mark II. You can get right close with that. You can get as close as 1:1 or back off a little bit. Sometimes I'll start shooting at 1:1, then I'll switch to autofocus and back out. Some iris along the trail, beautiful flowers. Look at there, wow. And the Canada geese, these little honkers. You know, 1 or 2 of those sounds like about 100 on the trail. You'd be walking along and you think you're going to see a huge flock of geese and it'll only be 1 or maybe 2. There they are feeding their babies. Going across to the other side of the road looking for the chicken. Beautiful swan. Here's the swan sitting on some eggs. The swan is sitting on the nest. Red-winged blackbirds again. They're abound and they're loud. You can always spot them because if you hear them before you see them. I still like to photograph them. They're as pretty as any bird. Here he's just had a bath, I think, and he's drying his feathers off in the sunshine. Yeah, they seem to have a lot of mites or ticks or something. They're all the time scratching and grooming their fur. Grooming their feathers. Little song sparrow up in the tree. I really want to get video of one of these guys just singing his heart out. But I've got still shots of them singing and video of them but not singing. Blue jay, hard to photograph. Nice little bird here. I thought this was an oriole, but alas, it's a robin. And robins are pretty too, but they're just not as sought after as Baltimore orioles are. Definitely needs to get those feathers dried out a little bit more. Wow. This is a cedar waxwing up in the tree. And here's a beaver just having a little mid-afternoon snack here. Just taking it easy after a hard day of tree chopping. Here the beaver's just taking a little rest. He's not working too hard. They've been chopping down some fairly big trees and moving a lot of branches and stuff. They really built up their dam this year. It's huge. I love to watch the beavers though. They're very interesting. I don't remember how long ago it was when I saw the first one. I never really was fortunate. It's about a year, I guess, since I saw the beaver. Look at him there. This little red squirrel loves to pose for pictures, I tell you. Look at that. Beautiful little guy. He knows I don't give him any treats either. The ladies on the trail give him all the treats. Here he is showing me how much he likes the nuts. These are sunflower seeds, I think. Grace puts out sunflower seeds and peanuts for him. Fairly expensive. She's got about $150 a month budget for bird seed and put out for the chipmunks, squirrels, and birds. Totally dedicated, comes down there every day. Here's a black squirrel. Once again, black squirrels are not as interesting as red squirrels. I don't know why. They're pretty cool, just the same. Black squirrel getting some sunflower seeds here. When they've got seeds, they don't seem to be as afraid, but when there's no food there, they're very scared and run away all the time. Now here's the grackle. I really like the grackle when the sun shines on them. Their feathers are iridescent blue, really nice, I think. And that yellow eye with the stern look is really something to see. I think they're pretty interesting birds. Love seeing the ducks sitting on a branch or a log or a rock. I don't know why, but that's the way I like to see them more so than sitting in the water. See about the ticks, they seem to be scratching all the time, constantly. Here you got a water strider, I think you call these guys, little bugs. They're a bit hard to focus on, but once you get them, then they're in focus. I caught a glimpse of this cute little bunny rabbit off in the distance, and I started taking some pictures, and he kept getting closer and closer. He looks a bit damp too, like he might have been swimming in the water. There's bees. Makes me happy to see bees too, because you know the flowers are getting pollinated and the pesticides haven't killed them all off. Some flowers here. That's what the bees do, is pollinate all these flowers. Some columbine. Merganser ducks off in the distance. I just cannot get anywhere near close to these guys. I want to get closer shots, more sharpness. Fiddleheads growing up, they make excellent salad. You know, you can pick those. And apple blossoms coming up here. I think we're going to have a good year. It should be a good harvest year this year if the weather stays nice. Hope it does. Mary photographed this fungus growing on the side of a tree, and this bracket fungus. They're pretty amazing. Another different kind of fungus. I'm really looking forward to the little mushrooms when they pop up, and you can get some shots of the mushrooms. Here are the killdeer running around. They do a pretty comic routine, trying to distract you away from their nest. This is what it's like on the trail. Beautiful. Nice views along here. It's so nice to walk there. I can walk and get 3 times my daily exercise requirement, and it doesn't even seem like exercise. Here's an HDR of some trees. Thanks very much for visiting Bella's Vistas. Please like, subscribe, and come on back again real soon.